girls, or hey y'all, whatever. I'm back, and I wanted to do this video because someone asked me about high school tips. And I started thinking about it and started writing down, some little notes, and I realized that there are like a ton of things that I could talk about. So what I'm going to do is it's going to be like maybe in like 6 or 7 parts, but I'm going to do a high school series. So high school tips and tricks and things that I've learned and things that I did and things that I wish I had known and stuff like that. So this is basically, I never had a little sister, I don't have any siblings, but this is basically me being a big sister to all those incoming freshmen, maybe you're a sophomore, maybe even a junior or senior, but I've been all those places before. So this video I'm going to talk about personal hygiene and health. Personal hygiene is a big deal, and I know in middle school it's important, but for those of you girls who maybe, didn't develop in middle school and you are just now developing in high school and you're coming to your own and you were, still in your, I guess, kind of kid phase in middle school, and now you are realizing, that you're in a different phase of your life right now. In high school, whether you're 14 or 15, maybe even 13, this is a big step, and there are some things that you need to know about. So I'm going to get down to the nitty-gritty details, and if you guys have any questions at all, please message me. If you don't want to comment because you're embarrassed, message me and I will keep you anonymous when I answer your question on video. I want to make sure I can answer all of you guys' questions on video. If you want to make a video response to this, it'd be great. And if you want to share some of your tips and tricks, leave it in the comments or make a video response. Okay, so let's get started. First, I want to talk about personal hygiene. And one of the biggest things that I want to talk about when it comes to personal hygiene is sexual health. And I'm not saying that you should be having sex in high school or anything like that, but it is a big deal. And in high school, people are talking about it, people are having it. Not everybody's having it, but there are people that are having it. And it's important for you guys to know that having sex is your choice. And I'm sure you've heard it before, and I'm not going to be the one to tell you don't do it or you're too young to do it. I would just advise you to think about who you want to do it with. What kind of person do you want to do it with? Who do you want to remember for the rest of your life? Because the person that you have sex with or that you lose your virginity to is someone you're going to remember for the rest of your life. And I really advise you guys to think about this. I'm going to do a whole video dedicated to boys, and we're going to talk about, being with an older guy and stuff like that. And when you get into high school as a freshman, senior boys see you as a fresh, wide-eyed little girl who's going to believe anything they tell you. So I personally recommend not dating an older guy in high school, because the difference between a 14-year-old and an 18-year-old developmentally is a lot different, and it's just so easy to get trapped and, do the wrong thing. So, yes. So my experience with sex is, I waited until I felt like I found the person that I was in love with to do it, and that was one of my requirements. And me and that person have been together for, like, in a month it'll be 2 years. So, like I said, I just think it's something really important to think about, and maybe I should do a whole video dedicated to sex. Tell me if you want me to do that, because I totally will. Okay, moving on. Now here's something that's kind of fun, makeup. First of all, check with your mom and dad and see what they think is appropriate, what they're okay with you're wearing makeup-wise. Some essentials that I would have is, in high school starting out, you don't want to do anything too crazy. Most likely you're just trying to look pretty or prettier, and I don't want you to think that you need to hide behind makeup, but some things that I would recommend that I used was like a little eyeshadow kit like this, or Maybelline, I think it was like $4 or $5. A blush. You don't have to buy NARS blush. It's really expensive, so I wouldn't recommend it, but this is what I had on hand. A powder foundation. You don't want to look too cakey, because regular foundation can make you look kind of old, and not old in a good way. Some mascara. This is the $3 Great Lash Mascara. You can start out with this. I would, and I actually still use it now because I think it's a great everyday mascara. And then an eyeliner. You can do a pencil liner, like from Wet n Wild. Those are like $1, and that's definitely in a high schooler's budget. And lip balm. That's really important because you want your lips to be moisturized. And maybe you want to do lip gloss or something like that. I will post a high school makeup video for you guys to watch in the bottom bar. So check out for that. Yeah. Okay, so next I want to talk about your period. And this is a big deal. You might have gotten your period in middle school, but when you're starting off in high school, you're still really learning about your body, and you're trying to figure yourself out. So, before you, know what your period cycle is, I kind of recommend writing it down. And you don't have to, write, this is my period, but you can put a little red dot by the days that you have it, and then you can start to see a pattern, okay, my period starts on the 15th and ends on the 20th, or whatever. And that way you can tell your doctor if your period has become irregular or that you have some sort of health concern that you need to talk about. Now, sometimes if you are a plus-size girl, your period may be heavier than the average teenage girls. And that's nothing to be embarrassed about, but it's just that you need to take some extra precautions. So I recommend changing your pad every 2 to 3 hours. This is what a pad looks like if you don't know. I know everybody, and the only reason, some of you guys are probably like, duh, but everybody doesn't have a parent to show them what this kind of stuff is. I don't have a tampon with me, and I don't use tampons, but I have friends who only use tampons, and I have friends who only use pads. And I know people who use both. So, I definitely recommend, if you're really heavy, and if you're your period is really heavy, that's what I mean. If your period is really heavy, you might want to double up and use a pad and a tampon if you're worried about leaking. If you have extra underwear in your bag, that will help you save you from a lot of things, because you don't want to, the last thing you want to do is sit around in yucky underpants all day if you've leaked. During your period, I really recommend bringing some body spray with you. This is some Victoria's Secret body spray. This is soft and pure, but you don't have to use this kind. They have ones at the drugstore that are specifically for, your lady parts. And, I think for $5. And me and my friend used to carry that around with us all the time, even in middle school, because it is so embarrassing to smell when your period leaks. Yeah. And another thing I want to talk about is smelling good. A lot of times in middle school, you're not really, you're kind of still a kid. Some people are anyway, and they're not worried about, oh, I need to take a shower every day. And I know to some people that sounds gross, but everybody doesn't take a shower every day. And that's fine with me. But if you are sweating throughout the day or something like that, please take a shower. Use deodorant. I use Degree. It's really good, actually, and it smells good, too. It supposedly reacts to your sweat, but just use deodorant. You can use perfume. The difference between perfume and body spray is that this has more alcohol in it and more of the fragrance in it, and this is just a diluted version of perfume. So, I hope I'm not going too fast, but yeah. Next, washing your face is really important in moisturizing. When you start to get in high school, you most likely start to get acne, or maybe not even acne, but zits. So cleaning your face, cleaning off your makeup. This is Cetaphil. I really like this. It's gentle and it's great for sensitive skin. I don't like to use a ton of stuff on my face, so this is great. And moisturizer. If you're a lighter complexion, you might want to use SPF every day. I usually only use SPF during the summer because the darker your skin is, the less vitamin D you absorb, and vitamin D is good for you. So getting some sun is a great thing. You are probably going to want to start carrying a purse in high school, because for fashion and for the things that you're going to need. First of all, you don't want a bunch of makeup, jumbling around in a backpack. So I really recommend carrying a purse. This is the one I carried in high school some of the time. It's big enough to hold some books, because you're probably going to be using your locker, so you can put a lot of your books in the locker, and maybe put your notebook for whatever class you're going in here. Some pens and stuff like that. Pens are essential. And you put your perfume in here. You can definitely bring lotion. Definitely bring lotion with you, because I always forgot to put on lotion before I got out of the house, and so you need to keep lotion with you. So just in case you're ashy, you know, it's kind of embarrassing to be ashy. So, especially if you're wearing sandal or something, that is not a good look. So yeah, I hope these tips helped you hygiene-wise. And next, I'm going to talk about health. Alright guys, if you have any questions, leave them for me down in the comments. Thank you. Bye y'all.